Hey everyone.
Hey, what's
How's
up
it
everybody?
going? Welcome to today's weekly MSI Center live stream. I'm Ja, and today I have Peter with me. So
What's up guys?
happy to see you guys.
Yes!
Hope you're all safe. We are definitely staying safe because once again we're not sitting next to each other, so
no
don't
high
worry about
fives
that.
here.
We're doing our part, and hope you guys are doing your parts as well. All right, we have quite a few stuff to go through today. Because it's already sitting here. You know what's underneath there, but surprise, surprise, what's going to be unveiled later, right? Of course, we're all here today for the brand new Aegis Ti5 12th Gen. So what we will do, we will show you everything from the outside to the inside. I will play around with the gaming dial. I will show you how all the functionalities work, how you can adjust them, where you can find them, and of course how you can upgrade. And of course, at the end, we'll show you its epic gaming capability. So if you have any questions, of course, just drop them in the chat throughout the live stream, whether it's about its aesthetics, performance, any questions you might have, just drop them in the chat. Me and Peter will pick out your questions. Yep. Of course, if you're watching on Facebook or on Twitter, Periscope, we do suggest you to watch on our official MSI Twitch channel or YouTube channel, because there we can see what you're actually dropping or saying in the chat. So you still have time to go there. And of course, like always, we have a giveaway today.
Yes.
So if you fancy yourself a Steam wallet code, just go to msi.com/2/insider, and the more actions you perform there, the more chances you will have at winning one of today's wallet codes. So we have several to give away. If you didn't win on the first few tries, don't worry, there's more chances to come later in the stream. So hope you guys all join, and good luck with the giveaway if you're interested. All right. So yeah, Peter, let's get going, huh?
Yes, let's get going. I'm just checking to see, because usually we have a chatbot enabled in the chat that will spam the link every 5 minutes. I'm not sure if that one is on already.
It should be.
Okay, let me just check. But
yeah, so
I mean, it should
if
be.
the link doesn't work for you guys there, you can just also go to the chat, and the chat bot will also drop the direct link like Peter just suggested, so you can just click on that one too if you want to join the giveaway. And if it's not working, then let us know. It should be.
Exactly. Anyway, don't miss out on some nice game not game codes.
I'm not sure
Steam
how Han
codes.
looked like in the last Fast and Furious movie, but I'll take it as a compliment, I guess. Thank you, Troy.
Yeah, I can see what you mean, Troy. I can see what you mean. A little bit.
I guess
I think it's the color of shirt. In one of the scenes, he has like a similar shirt, and your haircut is kind of similar, I guess.
Okay, I'm just missing some snacks in my hand, I guess. Huh?
That and a really fast car as well.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, guys. So without further ado, of course, I'm just going to get rid of this black.
Ooh, yes. Get it off.
Sack. Bag.
I don't want to call it a carry bag, because definitely I don't think that thing will hold the weight of that PC.
It's actually surprisingly sturdy and thick. So
could we put you in there and then?
I mean, I can try, but I'm not gonna promise anything.
Yeah, you know.
All right.
Yes.
Here we have our Aegis Ti5 12th generation. It looks a little bit weird, but that's of course it's brand new. So of course.
There's going to be some peeling action, guys.
Definitely. So out of the box, I wasn't going to unbox this because it's such a huge machine, so it's going to be very inconvenient to really do this like live. But basically what you get in the box is, of course, the Aegis Ti5 covered in the protective bag that you just saw, and also a box with some goodies. So what's in the box? Because then we can already get rid of this.
You want a close-up view of that?
Sure. So in the box we actually have another box.
Haha, boxception.
And one more box. So basically your power cable is in here, which I already took out because otherwise I can't really use it later. And in here we have some instruction manuals, but in the other box we have some quite interesting stuff.
To be clear, by the way, the power cable you mentioned, it's only the cable, right? Because the power supply is built into the PC itself.
Power supply built right in here.
Yeah. So no power brick.
Here we have some well, stickers and exclusive fan stuff actually.
Ooh.
So if I take them out, of course, after we get rid of the warranty and stuff, and some simple how to set up stuff, we're not going to go through them, of course. What we then get is this kind of stuff. So we have like a carbon fiber look right here. So those are all stickers that you can take out.
Nice.
And I don't think this shows up on the camera really well.
You mean the carbon fiber look?
Yeah, it has like a gradient color.
A little bit, yeah. If you play with it that
color
way.
A little bit, it's really shiny.
See that, yes.
It's like those kind of Pokemon cards from back in the days, you know, where you had like the normal ones, but you also had the shiny ones, and these are actually all shiny ones.
Reflective.
Yeah. So, and on the other side, we have even more.
Oh, can never have enough.
Yeah, those are actually really exclusive because you don't see them anywhere else.
Yep.
So, you know, just some little fan stuff. If you're like this, you know, you can put a sticker on your car window or, you know, on your Aegis Ti5, wherever you prefer to see them, of course. And just in case you don't know how to use the PC, how to set it up, just in case, you know. Of course, then about the real star of today's show. Get rid of this.
I mean, the real star of the show for one guy you just took off the table. Box was you know, loving all the boxes, obviously, which
yeah,
you wouldn't have guessed from the name, would you?
In the name, huh? So Box is also here, huh? Welcome, welcome.
Yes.
Always here, every single live stream. I wonder how many loyalty points that guy has.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Must be a lot.
Okay, first of all, before I get started, I'm just going to peel off everything that I can find, starting with this.
Do it. This is the ASMR part of the stream, guys.
Almost there. I'll try not to touch it too much because...
No fingerprints?
Yeah, it does catch fingerprints.
It is a magnet.
Okay, what did I miss? Some more here. Some more inside here.
Christmas vibes. Yeah, that's right. We've got some presents on the table there with 2 luckies.
Yeah, in a few days, guys, I guess everybody's got to do his own duty or her duty, right?
Yep.
The family duties.
Yes. Ooh. So that thing is actually so clean, it reflects part of the studio. RTX on.
All right, now the top part.
The thing you can see on the left side of the case there reflecting, that's the monitor that is showing you guys the chat that Jaya can read.
That's some inside information.
Oh yeah.
Almost on the side. We have some more. You know, occasionally when you see me move this guy around, you will hear me grunt, but that's basically because it's so heavy. So
it is. Do you know how heavy exactly?
Yeah, it's if you take everything out just like this, it's about 15. It is 15.6 kilograms.
All right.
So if you would love to have some big biceps, you can definitely use the handle, which is right here, and do yourself some bicep curls.
That thing is metal, right? The handle.
Yeah, it's full metal, the handle itself, so it will definitely not break.
Yes.
I see there's some more here, protecting its wheel. All right. I should have everything now. Let me check just to be sure.
I think the wheel thing indeed on one side.
Yeah, and the other side, indeed.
Yeah, there's so much shiny plastic on there.
Okay. Now I should have everything. Just gonna check its back.
Jaffa the Hutt, nice. My
We
wife
good.
just walked past and all she said was, no. Aww.
Okay, now we can go back.
You know what you should do, Jaffa? Is just put a window there with your nearest retailer or something, and put it in your shopping trolley, basically. Just the next time she comes walking by, just pull up that window and see how she's like, no, 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 no.
I'm just gonna give it a little bit of power so you can see how it glows up.
You're not that brave. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm not gonna pretend that I am either, so.
And of course, you see Lucky greeting you.
Yes.
So this is the default theme, which coincidentally is also the one that I actually like the most. I have played around with the Mystic Light quite a few times already. And this is actually the effect that I like the most. So yeah, you guys let us know. How do you think about this kind of effect and color combination? But alright, so here of course you see its front side. Now to give you guys a little bit of an introduction as to what the Aegis is all about, in case you don't know, or if you're new. Our Aegis series is really, you know, where we try to be very innovative. We try to play around with aesthetics, with the exterior, try to do something new, you know, not your average, you know, rectangle PC case where, you know, with a shining through side panel. So this is really where we try to play around with new ideas, but also in our Aegis series, this is really where you'll find our most powerful gaming desktops. Really low, no limits, where you will find the highest of the highest specifications paired with other innovative features, just like the gaming dial that you see right in front. And of course, its aesthetics, I don't really have to say much about this. You can judge for yourself. This is not really your everyday desktop that you see or will see in your retailers or somewhere on the e-tailers website, or even, you know, just generally browsing around. So that's really the core idea of our Aegis series. The best performance, really the best of the best performance, the newest features, and also where we try to be innovative with great, well, of course that's subject to opinions. Maybe you think that's not up to my liking at all. That's fine, you know, let us know if that's not what you like. But this is really, you know, where we try to give you guys something that's not regular, okay? So that's really the core idea of our Aegis series. Now, let me show you guys all of its angles and you know, the I/O panels and stuff like that. So let's start with the front.
Yes.
So here, let me get a little bit closer. You see there's like a default animation playing around here with Lucky. I'm very happy. But later I can also show you, if you don't like this, you can also change this for something else. So this is just a default animation that plays when it's out of the box. So this thing, you can actually dial it around, you can press it. In a moment I'll show you everything, what you can do with the thing and how you can actually change its features, where in the software you will have to be in order to actually use this. But right now let's just go through how it looks from the outside. And here you see a long, well, it's the same on the other side, but you'll see a long sort of a cutout. This is you know, where, well, the case will have to breathe through. This is the air intake on the front. So on the other side we have the same case.
Yeah, I saw somebody saying earlier that it looks like it doesn't have that much air flow through, but actually
really thick.
I mean, look at the sides as well. That mesh.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of space for the case to either.
Yeah, and it actually goes all the way from the top to the bottom, so it's not just like this part or just this part. No. So there's definitely enough cooling.
Yes.
And in a moment when I open this up, you also see that cooling is is something that the Aegis is actually very, very capable of, but more of that in just a second. So when I turn this to its side, so this wheel right here, we have had questions before of people asking, hey, does this mean that I can actually turn the Aegis? Well, you can't really turn it, so this is not meant so you can tilt your your desktop. This is just a design idea and inspiration that came forth from like very fast racing bikes and something like Tron. So this is just a design feature, so you can't really tilt your desktop.
Yeah, but it does flex a little bit.
Yeah,
as
you can
see.
flex a little bit,
Yeah.
but you can't really tilt it to a different angle. So if you guys want to ask that, then you already know that. So here you will see, you can, if you look closely, the light is already shining through, so you can see that this entire area is also an air outtake area. So an exhaust for the fan. And here you can actually see a fan. So, and if you put your hand here, you can also feel the air. I will open this up, of course, later just to show you what you can find here, because you can open this up on both sides. And this is just actually the back side of the motherboard, where we also have a dedicated fan for the VRM. But more of that a little bit later. Okay, let me show you the front first before I turn it around. On the bottom, ooh, you can already see here the ventus with the triple vents shining through. So this part, yes, indeed, you can see through, but it's still like it has like a dark tint. And on the front, this is the front I/O. So here, obviously, we have the on and off button. And then we have 2 times USB 3.1 Gen 2s, audio jacks, and of course also a USB Type-C for fast charging or other USB Type-C devices. And just like with the front, the sides here for the air intake, this you also find on the top all the way to
the back.
The back.
Yep.
And you can actually already see the RGB shining through. This side, it's the same. So you might have noticed that we have 2 little extra stuff right here. You can guess what they are. In the meantime,
Wi-Fi antennas, right?
yes, it's actually it's ears. Look. You know, you have its face and the head and eye here, right here. Now you have the ears. Now, actually, what you can use the ear for is, let me grab this.
Yes.
Ta-da! And if you prefer to use the other side, it's all good. So you have something extra here to hang up your headphones with. And then this side, again here you can see this is one big area for cooling. So for air, this one is actually for air outtake. So next, here you see the fans from the CPU radiator. Yeah, of course, I will also open this up, but just to give you an idea, this is where the CPU will breathe. And let me show you the backside.
Yeah, I was having to, flex quite a bit to turn that thing.
I'm actually feeling a little bit hot already, so
I'll turn up the AC.
yeah, it's fine.
Maybe
fine.
pop a window.
It's fine. We'll have to cut through the green screen to really reach the window, but we can try next time. Alright, so if you want to know about the back I/O, so of course here first of all we have the air outtake, a 120 fan, and here we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 USB connections in total, of which one is also a USB Type-C with 3 more USB 3 and Gen 3.2.2 actually, 3.2 and then 2x2. It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Of course, then we have all of your audio jacks, the regular ones right here. But what's noticeable here that's quite different is we have two separate LAN connections. So LAN ports. We have the 2.1G and a 1.1, so a gigabyte LAN, and a 2.5G. So later I can also show you guys how you can really make use of this software-wise, because this is meant for you to have the best connection and also where you can prioritize your tasks. So that when you're gaming, for example, you have the best latency, and also you can make sure that this port is dedicated for gaming only, so you have no interruptions there. So this is the backside, and of course here you see the GPU resting.
Notice how there is an HDMI port on the back of the motherboard I/O, but it has a dust cover in there.
Yeah.
And that's of course to not confuse people. They shouldn't plug in their monitor in the HDMI port on the motherboard, of course. This is something a mistake a lot of people have done, and then suddenly it's like if their CPU has an integrated graphics card, it'll work, but they're not getting the performance they were expecting. And then on closer inspection, it turns out they simply plug their monitor into the wrong HDMI jack or display port if the motherboard has that. So this is also something that we deliberately do to kind of hint to people, hey, make sure you plug it into the graphics card, not the motherboard.
Definitely not a good experience when you.
Well, it's an easy mistake to make, right? So it's not unreasonable, because HDMI port is an HDMI port, and if you're not into computers and you don't know the difference that much, then it's an easy mistake to make. But then it makes it easier to prevent that mistake, just to make kind of block one of those ports to make it more apparent to people that you're not supposed to be plugging the monitor in there.
So if you missed this, we have a handle here, so just in case you like to go get to LAN parties or to your friends, you like to move this thing around, you can definitely do so.
But
so that's why we have a full metal handle right here. We know, of course, nowadays it's a little bit difficult to do so because rules, Corona. But when it gets better, you like to move it around.
Yes. Or if you want,
so.
You can slap somebody around with it, because the handle is quite sturdy. So
yeah. I guess you do. If you turn around like 3 times or something,
yes.
You can definitely hurt somebody.
You can practice for the Olympics, right?
I have to quit my job then. So
not sure.
Okay, so and actually size-wise, this is a regular-sized mid-tower gaming desktop. Of course, it looks a little bit different than a normal mid-tower size, since we have some cutouts here. So it's not your regular rectangle or square gaming case, but height-wise and in the total size, it's definitely a mid-tower size gaming desktop. And of course, some specs, what you wonder. So if you notice what I said in the beginning, really the highest spec that you can probably get nowadays, you can already kind of guess what's in here. So just some simple specs for you to already know. CPU-wise, we have a i9 12900K in here. And of course, if you like to have a different configuration, that's fine, because this is the single highest configuration that we have at the moment, the highest one. So there's also a RTX 3090 in here. And of course, if you would like to have an i7 version, we also have that, because it actually starts with an i7, so 12700K paired with a RTX 3070. So that's the lowest configuration in the Aegis, and the highest one is the i9 12900K with 3090. So yeah, if you are looking for different configurations, you can definitely check this out. The Aegis should be, it's actually right now being shipped, so it might be a little bit hard to find this right now in your current retailers, but a little bit more patient, because we expect that at the beginning of January, especially now with the holiday periods, the logistics is not as fast as we would have it. So at the beginning of January, somewhere there, we expect that worldwide, that majority of the retailers will have it in their shops. So if you'd like to check it out in the shop, you can definitely do so, but of course make sure they have it, so you don't go there for nothing. So yeah, and memory-wise, in this bad boy, we have the full capacity filled in with 128 gigabytes of DDR5. And later I'll give you a full overview of its specs, and I will also go through its features, so don't worry. And right now you can actually also see on the screen what the specifications are.
Yes.
They are rotating, so...
I didn't mean to spoil it, but...
Exactly, so good timing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and if you have any questions regarding the specs, the features, or whatever you might think of, or feedback, just let us know in the chat. We'll try our best to do so. So if there's no questions up till now, Peter, that you know of,
just a lot of people saying they either love it or not, and I mean that's up to you. Obviously, taste is a thing that we cannot influence. You know, you make a design. Some people will like it, some people won't. That's always a personal thing, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I mean it's a beast. I guess some question only i9. I think you already answered that right after. You also said it's i7. We also have configuration. So there are different configurations, of course. The one that Ja has here is the top end configuration, like the absolute max you can get it in at the moment. But yeah, I mean this is an existing and an evolving concept basically. So you know, anytime there's a new generation of either graphics card or you know, CPU chipset, even memory, as you see now, is DDR5. So it evolves with the dynamic of the hardware change, and this one indeed is usually the top end configurations are available in the Ti5. So yeah, if you're looking for the absolute max you can get at any given time, look no further than the Ti5.
All right, so now I will go through some information that I can't really show you guys. So I will. Yeah, let's get to the PowerPoint. Usually don't like to announce this because we know, but I'll try
I
to
was
get
looking
through
at the
this
chat.
as
Sorry, I was a bit distracted.
as I can.
Yes.
But okay, I see it's
Whoops.
again.
Yes.
So I have to redo it.
Yes. There we go.
There we go. So here we have an overview of its basic specs that you guys are probably all wondering, also regarding storage. So I'm not going to read everything because you can read for yourself. But what I just want to highlight and stress is that here we also have 3 PCIe M.2 slots, of which 2 are PCIe Gen 4. So we have 1 Gen 3, and there's tons more data storage for you to connect if that's still not enough for you. Because actually in this one we right now have about 5 gigabytes of total storage just from M.2 SSD. So we have 1 Gen 4 PCIe M.2 SSD with 2 gigabytes, which is where the Windows is currently setting, and then we have an additional one, of which is about 3 gigabytes, also sitting in the PCIe Gen 4 SSD slot. So tons of storage for you to utilize. And communication-wise, like I mentioned earlier, we have the 2.5G LAN and also the gigabit LAN, which is the 1G one. Yeah. So power supply 850 watts, more than enough to power up those 2 hungry little chips in there for the CPU and the GPU. Oh, yeah. Later during the live benchmarks, I will also show you guys, just in case you're wondering, like how much power do they actually draw when you push them to the max and playing your favorite games. So yeah, a lot of good stuff to come, guys. And this is the basic specs for now. So the CPU, now here of course, if you have kept up with the news recently, you know that Intel with their newest architecture, they have changed quite a lot. So the CPU itself is actually not the same as the traditional ones, because here you're actually getting 2 separate units in the CPU of one part, which is the performance cores, which are bigger, and then you also have the efficiency cores, which are actually meant for doing some jobs that are less demanding. So the bigger ones, the really performing ones, they can be focused on some tasks that are really, that really require the processing power, like when you're doing gaming or some heavy rendering and stuff like that, workloads. So this really, gives you an extra separation in which the performance actually also benefits. And if we really compare with last generation, you can already get up to 55%. Of course, this is not just referring to gaming, but this is just an overall performance, also with multitasking and workloads. So you can already get up to 55% increase with last gen. So that's, of course, massive. And yeah, you have 8+8 cores and 24 threads. So here you also see the separation for the performance and the efficiency cores. So CPU-wise and architecture, there's a lot of changes, and there's actually quite some benefits to it. So bravo to Intel for this great improvement.
Yep.
And of course, that's not the only big change that happened this year. We also have finally the introduction of the DDR5 RAM modules. So here, a DDR5, of course, it has a vastly improved bandwidth and also speed compared to DDR4. And right now, if you just look at the raw data, so our last gen, for example, the Aegis Ti5 12th, it also had DDR4 with up to 3200 megahertz of speed. And this year we already have the DDR5 with a speed of up to 4400 megahertz. And if you have been to our web pages or have looked around at our products, you might have seen Trident X, the 12th generation, and that one actually has a higher memory speed. Just in case you're wondering, but that's because the Trident X1 is actually using 2 modules. So, and this we actually using 4 modules. So if you have less modules to use, then the signal actually can be focused and much more improved or enhanced for the 2 dedicated ones instead of having to be spread over 4 modules. So that's why in the Trident X we actually can crank up the speed even higher than here. But that's just you know, number-wise. But of course, performance-wise, there's absolutely nothing lacking in here compared to the Trident X. It's just a little side note to you guys if you have seen that already. But yeah, so raw speed and write, it's just a big improvement with a DDR5. And I'm sure that especially with DDR5 now just being released, in the future there's going to be much more refinement, and you know, apps and games start to use this kind of stuff more efficiently. There's going to be much more improvement to it.
It's always like that, right? I mean, this process has got to mature still. Even the DDR4, I remember when it was first introduced, you know, it didn't offer many speeds improvement over a DDR3 yet, but I mean, look at it now. If you look at it now, it's an order of magnitude faster. Same will happen with DDR5, you know. Right now, it's already a bit faster, but going down, looking into the future, it will probably, you can expect it to become even a lot faster than this.
So definitely a lot of good stuff to look forward to in this case, especially with developers also catching up. So we have also done some well, some benchmarking just for the Aegis Ti5 with this kind of specifications. And here you can find, I hope some of your favorite games are in here, so you know exactly what kind of performance you can expect from this machine right here in this configuration. So I'm just gonna name a few. So if we're talking about like Borderlands 3, blue is Full HD. If it's too small for you to read, just in case. The red part is Quad HD, and the green part is 4K. So throughout the board, Assassin's Creed is the hardest one to handle for the desktop. So of course there with 4K you have 63 frames per second. But overall it's performing excellently because Watch Dogs, Borderlands 3 and the rest, you know, 4K, they're all getting 77 FPS and plus. So and Quad HD and Full HD, I'm not going to mention them. You can also see them for yourself. But really here we're trying to focus on the 4K performance because that's why you have this kind of specifications. So overall, yeah, you can definitely have a very good time with your games, and mind yourself that this is really, you know, with the settings set to high or ultra maxed out. So if you play around with those kind of settings and with the you know, also ray tracing, you can even get more out of it, and that's also what we're trying to do later with the live gaming demos. In here, so I already mentioned PCIe Gen 4, that's also in the machine, but what's very, let's say, special is that this is actually the first machine where we have where you will see the first implementation of the PCIe 5.0. So you already have the capability of when PCIe 5.0, of course, is being developed and implemented, introduced in the industry, because right now we're still standing at 4.0, and that's still very new, right? But you can already be sure that it's future-proof for when PCIe Gen 5 comes out. We already have the support available for you. So I think that's on itself is already a very big plus. Just
Yeah, again,
looking
with
ahead at the
things
future.
like direct storage coming up in, like when games start using it. Right now, graphics cards, they don't really tend to use that bandwidth. Even, PCIe 3.0 is usually not the full bandwidth not being used. 4.0, not even 5.0. But with the direct storage, for example, a lot more of this bandwidth is going to get used. For the GPU to directly communicate with storage, for example, it can bypass the CPU, removing that bottleneck basically. But yeah, you need the bandwidth for that to be fast and effective. So yeah, something like PCIe 5.0 is definitely going to help with that. Take maximum benefit from that.
Definitely looking forward to when direct storage is actually fully capable and being used. And we actually hope that when that comes out, we can try to have some of our buddies at Intel to come over and talk about it. But no, that's for future live stream. Who knows? It might happen, it might not. But yeah, so that's already in your pocket if you're interested in the Aegis Ti5. So the 2.5 and the 1G network, really here the biggest benefit for you is that you can always be sure that you have the right network traffic that's dedicated to one port and some other minor stuff that's going to be used for the other port, just to make sure you have the lowest latency and also the best performance out of your connection.
Yeah, so somebody saying, hey, can you use both of them at the same time? For example, if you, I don't know, if you have a router, you happen to have two cables available.
Yeah. That's exactly why we have two of them, so you can use them at the same time. And in the software, in our MSI Center, you can then really fine tune, what's for what, how, and where, which ones you have priority and stuff like that. Which I'll get into when I actually show you guys around how you can use MSI Center and what you can get out of it.
Yep.
Okay, so this one is also capable and with our Ambient link. So if you're not familiar with our Ambient link, just in short, what it means is that through our MSI Center, well, yeah, that's where I have to be, but through Mystic Light, you can really create an immersive environment with your game and with what's happening on your screen. And actually, you can also use some casual ambient lighting and environments that's being lit up, with some effects that's predetermined. But it can also work with in-game actions and events that's being live translated into your entire setup. And the setup is not limited to MSI Mystic Light products, so like all the Mystic RGB effects that you're seeing here, or on monitors, on our mouse, keyboard. It's also compatible with Nanoleaf and also Philips Hue. So two of the very, very big, of course, lighting brands in the industry. And this all happens with zero delay. So just to give you an idea of how this more or less looks like and what kind of immersion we're talking about here, we have a little video that shows you its full capability. So let's just have a look. Right, so I hope you guys have a good impression of what it's like. So yeah, here you also have the capability of creating that kind of environment for yourselves, if you're interested. And when we're talking about like what kind of games, we actually have a lot of the big titles that have worked with us with the development. Some of the examples you can already see here. We actually have a lot more than this. So yeah, if you want to know the full list, you can just look it up on our webpage.
Yeah, or
And
you
I'm
can see it in the software as well, right? If you have MSI Center, you can I can open it up, and there's a tab with Mystic Light, Ambient Link. It shows all the titles in there as well. Even if you don't have them installed, I think it will show it. And of course, you only have the option to activate it once if it detects that the title is installed on your system.
Yeah. So just a few more slides, guys, to talk about the gaming performance at 4K, and then we're through with the PDF, with the PPT, I promise. So when we're talking about 4K gaming, everything's set to ultra, you know, if you just take like a 9-game average here, like Tom's hardware has done, yeah, with this current setup with 3090, you can expect anywhere from like a 100 to 108 FPS, but of course you got to take this with a grain of salt, because you know your game might be looking quite a lot different. Because if you're playing, like for example, esports games, it's going to be 2-3 times higher, even at 4K. But if you're playing like the hardest game to render, it's going to look like something like in the 70 or 80-ish FPS. So, by the average, this is what you can expect more or less with these kind of GPUs lined up.
It really depends on what type of games they're testing as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't mention here, but I guess what they usually do, like Tom's Hardware, but also TechSpot, is they do a certain amount of games average, and they'll include, you know, AAA titles, which are very heavy on the GPU and then really present the challenge. But they also mix in some lighter games, some more competitive focused games, for example, that will run a bit easier on any hardware. So it's truly an average. So this isn't to say that in any given game title this is a guaranteed number. It's just to give you an indication.
Yeah, exactly. And if you tune down the settings, if you go to medium, you can already see there's like a significant difference. So for the 3090, for example, you already have like a 40% increase in FPS, well, give or take 40%. For the rest, it's about the same case. So yeah, definitely the settings, they do matter a lot. If you compare this to, for example, Quad HD, the numbers look totally different. So instead of like 100 FPS for the 3090, for example, you have like 165, 66. This is relatively pretty much the same case throughout the chart. So yeah, definitely a big difference between Quad HD and 4K. But in my opinion, when you have this kind of machines, you, of course, if you don't like to have the highest details or the sharpest visuals, you know, feel free to go for QHD. There's nothing wrong with that. But me personally, I would like then to get everything out of my screen by just looking at the 4K resolution that will cut my eyes, you know. That's but this is personal preference, of course. For Quad HD at medium settings, compare this with 4K medium settings, you have about like, yeah, just so much difference. So resolution definitely matters a lot. So when you're playing around, definitely keep this in mind, as this has a lot of influence. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it for the information package.
Yeah, I think it's time. Yeah, I think it's time.
Yes.
I'm coming out from behind the gifts to tell you guys it's time to give you some gifts.
Yeah, hello to you too.
Yeah, I mean, you do the talking, I do the drawing.
Yeah. So right here you can see, if you just joined, no worries, we have more to come, so you can still join the giveaway by going to msi.com/2/insider. Yeah, you can perform as many actions there as you want. The more you do, the more chances you have at winning one of today's codes. Definitely make sure to check out the loyalty bonus, because that's basically just a free extra that will give you more, let's say, potential chance at winning one of the codes. After we have picked all the winners for today's live stream, I will send the codes to you guys by email. So in the coming days, just check your email to make sure, also check your spam box, that you have received the codes. There you'll find all the instructions on how to redeem. So, all right, so Peter.
We have our first two winners. And their nicknames are, the first one is called Pisceus. I'm not really sure how to say it.
Pisceus,
Pixius, I don't know. Anyway, congratulations. We're going to contact you. We're going to give you an email with with your prize. They won actually with claiming the loyalty bonus, so you know that gives you an extra edge. So there you go. If you are a regular viewer, don't forget to submit your loyalty bonus as well. Put the points in there. And the second winner is called Mikels.
That's a little bit easier.
I'm not sure if they're falling asleep there, but there's 3 Z's at the end. Miguel. So congratulations to you as well. We're going to get the code out to you as well after the stream. Yeah, hope you do something nice with it.
All right, guys, congrats. And have fun with it later.
Indeed. All right, okay. What's up next?
Yeah, next I'm going to get into some demonstrations regarding its software and some features and where you can find them, how you can use the dial. So for this, we'll have to go to MSI Center.
There we go.
As
you can see, John's running Windows 11, by the way.
Yeah, so also let me know if this is too small. Actually, I'm just going to make it bigger, just in case.
Just scale it up a bit. Who was the first winner? Their name was hard to pronounce, so I'm very sorry about that. But
yeah,
I'll see if I can spell it out. It's Piciusz. So
you tell me how to pronounce it.
Piciusz. Piciusz. Anyway, sorry I couldn't make that more clear. It's difficult to pronounce for me.
Here we have our MSI Center. And if you go to settings, then of course nowadays it's part of the game. You can go for dark mode. So that's like the first thing that I want to get out of the way. Yes, it's possible. And for the rest, it's really very intuitive. It's really friendly actually to any noob that doesn't know anything about software. Basically what you have to do is that if you want to use any features, all you have to do is go to features and then these are all features that I have installed. So if you want to know or what kind of others are out there, you can go for this one and then the feature set, and here it shows what's installed and also what you can still install yourself. If there's something that you don't like, we make sure that a lot of stuff are modular, so you can install them whatever you want. Of course, some like the gaming gear, this one you can uninstall because its functionality hardware-wise is dependent on this specific feature. So. In order to really make use of the product, you can uninstall this feature specifically. But the rest,
that's also why you don't see the little white dots next to that one. The other ones you can all. It's completely modular in otherwise.
Yeah. So we received this kind of feedback with our MSI Dragon Center stuff, and we definitely try to implement your feedback and try to improve.
It's a long road, but we're making progress. So
one of the stuff.
That's good.
And yeah, so tons more for you to install here, whatever you feel like playing around with. But the essential ones are already installed here. So this is kind of the interface. You have the feature set with this overview. You have support. We find the update, a system info, and support, and then the features themselves. This is mainly where you have to be majority of the time. I think. I'm not sure what you're doing otherwise, but this is where you have to be. If you want to use, for example, the gaming dial, you go to gaming gear. Here you go to MSI Aegis Ti5. And of course, the software is not just meant for the desktop, right? It's meant for all of our MSI products. So that's why you also see a gaming mouse here and a gaming keyboard. So here you can also change their values as well and some settings. So it's really.
Why Red Panda is asking, is this interface available for older model laptops? It really depends how old. If you're talking like last year, yeah. But if you're talking like a couple of generations ago, then no. I mean, we kind of have to draw the line somewhere in what we can support and what we cannot support when we make a new version of the software. Otherwise, we'd only be focusing on getting all the all the older hardware and trying to get it to work. So. Usually, when we come out with a new gaming center, the generation that it's currently on will of course be supported, and maybe one generation before that. But further back, you'll have to. You basically have an older version of the software that will still work, of course.
Yes.
So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, so here, for example. When I click on the keyboard, it actually tells you there's a new firmware available. So, it's very easy to also just update your products in here, all in one place. But coming back to the gaming dial, for example. Here, this is like the entire overview of how you can tune your gaming dial. So this thing that you can turn and press in front of the desktop. Note that here it says choose 5 topics. This means that here you can click on 5 icons. So the ones that's clicked, has color and it's bright, and the other ones are grayed out. That means that I have right now Mystic Light, Shortcut, Monitor, Scenario, and so actually this is like a little software glitch. So it's supposed to say sound, but the software actually it's a pre-version with the new desktop, because the desktop's not really fully rolled out yet, but it should say sound, just in case you're wondering. And Scenario. And underneath there, you can tune which specific feature can do what. So the values there. So the Mystic Light here, you can choose whenever, what kind of effects it's included and which ones are not. So I basically just selected mainly, majority of the effects right here. But if you don't like something, you can just unclick them and then press save, apply, and that's it. And Shortcut, this is really one of the best features. Now, for example, me, I like to keep my desktop very clean. As you can see here, there's nothing here except for this little trash can that you can't see. But I have nothing here. So if I want to, for example, start my games, I don't even have to go to start, look the games up, or make sure the game is somewhere visible so that I can click on or anything. Here you can just basically choose what games you want to include, and if it's not here, you can still go to their installed destination and click it, and then it will appear here. And basically what this does is that when you use the dial, I'll also show you, of course, then it will open the game or other programs automatically, so you don't even really have to use your mouse or any hotkey to do that. For the monitor part, because if this one is like setting idle, you don't want to see the animation, you can also just show the monitoring feature, in which it will show its system settings and also your weather situation.
Hardware monitoring. Or,
So you can choose whatever settings you like, and if you don't like weather forecast because you really don't care, you can uncheck it, click apply, and that's it. So this is where you tune everything. Now, let me show you what it means in translation into the hardware itself. So if you click it right now, this one it says Mystic Light, in case you can't really read it. Let me see if the
I think you can read it.
Focus is okay.
Yeah, it's having a hard time focusing exactly, but
okay. So Mystic Light. If you click on Mystic Light, you can shut it off. Boom. By the way. But
Dark
if you want to
mode.
change effects, this is where you'll have to be. So let me just put it back to default. Next, if you turn this, you'll see it goes to user scenario. This is really where you can choose like how the system is performing, like according to your custom profile, or if you want to have the maximum silence because you're doing some easy work that doesn't really require performance, or go for balance, or really push it to the extreme. And all you have to do there is click. And if you long press, you'll go back to the previous menu. No, the other way. So you can adjust the sound, and monitor. So
it has more functionality than a Google Nest, basically. But it has some similarities.
Yes, this is the improved version, huh?
Oh yeah, this is like the gaming version of the Google Nest.
So now idle, what happens is that it will show your system settings, all of those that you just configured in the software. And the last one, let me try to show you guys in real time what happens. So for this, I'll also use the camera. I'm just getting it ready, so you see.
Yep.
Okay, so right now,
all right, so I need to be
my
quick.
hand. My other hand is holding the camera. So then, if we go back to the detail cam, I'm gonna open. Oh, where is it? Here, shortcut. So when I press this, I hope Peter can
Yeah,
turn
yeah, yeah.
back.
I'm
right
ready,
away.
I'm ready.
So I'm gonna click. Now you see it's already starting to work.
It's doing the thing.
Of course, you have to open the Ubisoft launcher.
Yes.
You have to pass through that, and then yeah, there you have it.
It's starting.
This is how you can start your apps, your games, that your friends cannot do, that you can without touching any mouse keys or you know, your keyboard. So that's the shortcut feature.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, if you like to have another set of features on the gaming dial, just go to MSI Center, and there you can pre-select everything that you like. Yeah, according to yourself, and I'm sure we'll in the future even bring out more functionalities, and then through a simple software update, you're always up to date with what kind of stuff we have developed for you to enjoy. So yeah, if you guys have any questions regarding MSI Center or the gaming dial, just let us know. But yeah, that's really like the essence of the Aegis identity. That you know, here you have all the functionalities and all the well, more or less the shortcut feature being implemented into a hardware with a display.
You know what would be cool? Mystic MC Wizard was, I'm not sure if he's new here or this is one of the first streams he's watched, but he's saying indeed, oh, we'll be watching, set up notifications. Can he program like a notification that will pop up on the dial when we go live? I think that would be useful for him.
I think that's actually quite a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. You know, set reminders and.
Yeah. Would you like to come work with us in our development team?
Me?
No, the person who asked.
That was my idea, actually.
Oh, that was your idea.
Yeah, because I just saw them saying,
user.
oh yeah, maybe I need to set up notifications because I do want to watch this stream more often. And it is actually usually on Wednesday indeed, so it's pretty much every week it should be the same day on Wednesday or around the same time. But yeah, that would be really cool. Ah, they agree. Nice.
All right. Nice.
We'll talk to development team, see if we can get it done for you.
Okay, so now I'm going to play Doctor and open it up. So before that, of course, I'm waiting for it to shut off and unplug the power. And try to show you guys what's inside.
Wouldn't be an insider stream if we wouldn't go inside it, would it?
All right.
At least you're not Eric, so it's probably going to survive this, right?
Oh yes. I mean, this is more than my salary, so I'm definitely gonna be very careful.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people asking about the price as well, but I think that's hard to comment on because one, there's multiple configurations, so it really depends on the configuration. The one you see now is the top end, so that will be obviously the most expensive one. And secondly, you've got like, I don't know how many currencies and different shipping costs, different VATs or value taxes in different countries. So especially the higher up the number goes, the something like VAT can scale, it scales percentage-wise. So that's usually, it can have a big impact on the actual price that you are being charged in the end. So it's hard to say. In one country it can be, I don't know, $2,000. In another country it can be $3,000 or $4,000. It's ridiculous.
Let's start with this side.
Yes. You want a close-up view of that?
Yeah.
There we go.
So I already took out the 2 screws on the back, and then you just have to slide it off. Now, when you do this, you have to be careful that you don't do this too fast because there's still a cable connected, and this is of course to operate the Mystic light right here. So, but you can easily unplug this, and then you'll have a free reign. So, just let me use both
Always
hands.
do that carefully, guys. And if you're gonna do this, make sure you feel comfortable doing this kind of thing.
There we go.
If you don't, better ask somebody who is comfortable with.
I think we all have the one friend, right? That's always helping around with
yeah,
hardware.
exactly. Either you have that friend or you are that friend. Right?
Exactly. In our case, we are always those kind of friends.
Yep.
Family, friends.
Yo Antos, it looks like a very small case. Nah, just got very big hands.
Yeah,
No, it is
that's
actually. I mean,
true. I actually do have a very bearish hands.
Pause.
My feet looks exactly like this. It's very white, like a duck feet.
oh.
But that's why I always
It means
have,
you should be a good swimmer though, then, right?
actually, that's very ironic.
You're not?
No.
You can't swim?
Nope.
Oh God. Okay.
Actually, I can swim, but the problem that I have is that as soon as I stop swimming, I'm gonna.
I think a lot of people have that. You need to keep, kicking
Yeah,
your
I
feet.
can't keep myself afloat. That's the problem. I can swim from A to B, but as soon as I stop swimming, I would just go down. Like no matter what I do.
All right. Well, you need to breathe in some air and then just relax. Usually you'll float.
Yeah, I would love to have some.
Either that, or you're like, maybe you're Wolverine. You've got those, what is it? That adamantium bone structure that pulls you down.
Yeah, I think I just have thick bones.
Yeah, big bones.
Yep.
You're like Eric Cartman in that way, I guess.
Yep.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm just thick bone.
Let's run with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so you guys saw me like, basically just unscrew
Yes.
this part, and then what happens is that you have your CPU. So of course, obviously we have a all-in-one water cooling in here, and here you have both fans and the radiator. Of course, this part is where the air will go out. So when you unplug this, and if you want to take this out, that's also possible. You just have to untighten this and this thumb through, and then you can basically take out the whole bracket, and you'll have full access to the insides. So from this view, let me just point out like what you can find here. So what's really irregular here is that actually the GPU is sitting atop instead of at the bottom, which of course is usually how the PC looks like from the inside, right? And that's also because basically the motherboard is also kind of upside down in order to achieve this setup. Now this is because we already have a all-in-one water cooling with the radiator pointing out. So to make sure we have the best heat dissipation in our silent stroke cooling setup right here. So here this chamber for the GPU is being separated from the CPU chamber, and the GPU obviously produces tons of heat,
Especially at 3090.
so heat goes up. This way the heat will automatically escape through the outer meshes and the air outtakes. So that's why the GPU here is actually sitting atop, so that it will never, the CPU will never be bothered with the heat that's coming from the 3090, right?
Yeah.
So here you'll have its own heat dissipation system, and this silent stroke cooling setup, make sure that you have the best heat dissipation system overall in the case. And on the front, you actually still have a place to mount another fan if you like, because right now it's actually absolutely not needed at all, because they all have their own little air intake and outtake, which is actually very, very efficient. But if you choose so, you can still install a fan right here.
For extra intake.
A regular 120.
Yeah.
For the air intake. So of course, if you like more RGB, you can install a full RGB fan right there. If that's what you like, of course.
Don't know if would you see that? Yeah, maybe it would shine a bit inside the case, right?
Yeah,
I guess.
and also through the air cutouts.
On the front? Oh, okay, on the sides.
So of course, it's not the same as a tempered glass, but yeah. So here we have 4 modules being installed, totaling a 128 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. And here we have the block for the all-in-one water cooling, which you can actually turn.
Yeah, a lot of people were asking about the motherboard. Is it like a standard motherboard you could also buy separately, or is it an ATX size?
No, this is actually a
proprietary.
Yeah, so it's not an ITX, it's a mini ATX, but it is our own custom channel board. So it's gonna look, so it's a basic Z690 board, but it's gonna look different than its counterpart that you'll find in the shop.
You cannot buy this indeed
No.
separately in the shop. Mystic MC Wizard, dual or quad channel? I do believe this is quad channel.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you can see it, but let me turn the view a little bit so I can show you better.
How much RAM can you use in that PC? Code Blood is asking. As John mentioned, this is, I'm not sure if this is the absolute max.
Yeah, it is the max. So
Okay.
128 gigabytes, it's a max.
There you go. Yeah. So hope that answers. Actually, I'm going to pull the specs up again as well on the right side. There you go.
Okay, so if we switch the cam,
yes.
we will see.
There we go.
Here is the, oh wait, the camera is upside down.
Is it? No.
Yeah. There we go.
All right.
So here is the first PCIe, well, Gen 4 PCIe M.2 slot you will find, and right now we have a 2 gigabyte that's installed in this configuration. And here we have the Wi-Fi chip, right here, cute little thing. And on the left, we have the SATA and the power connection for the motherboard. So basically, yeah, on this side there isn't that much that's going to be of interest to you, unless you're doing, of course, some upgrades. Then you got to know what's what. And if you want to install more fans, this.
So Ronald McDonald, it's a custom proprietary motherboard, not one you can buy basically off the shelf, but it is based on a Z690 chipset.
Exactly. So, and if you want to use more fans, then you can definitely try to use some, let's say a fan connection splitter. So you can use the same fan connections for more fans. And this is where I have to find them.
My side of reality is asking no heat issues without spreaders and sinks on the RAM and SD. No. Well, it doesn't have RGB, so that means it can still be faster.
Not at all. But so the reason that we don't have it is because it's 100% not needed in this case.
Yeah.
And of course, that's the same case here. But I will show you something in just a moment when I open up the other side, which is some precautious measure that we have taken just for the VRM.
But Ronald McDonald, no proprietary connectors. That's right. I mean, it is basically just using all the standard connectors, SATA, 4-pin RGB, 3-pin fan headers, that kind of stuff indeed. So it is, in that case, it's not really using any proprietary connectors.
Okay, I was actually trying to find the flash, but I thought there was a flash feature in here. We did, right?
Sorry, flash?
Yeah, a flash feature for the camera.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Maybe I have to, like this.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here on top, we see there's one more SATA connection, and here as well on the sides. So you can install more SATA connections. And I will also show you where you can place your SATA drives in just a second. So yeah, we have one more PCIe slot on this side.
Maybe if you have a really slim graphics card, you can... No, just kidding.
So here, of course, we have our Ventus, the 3090, the triple fan version. And if you want to take this out, then you have to take out this bracket. This one is also here just to make sure that there is like absolute no movement in the graphics cards, even when it's shipping or being moved around. So just for extra sturdiness. Power cords. And all the cables are being hidden or tightly hidden away pretty neatly, so that when you are going to get into here and try to replace some parts, the RAM, or move around some cables, replace the SSD, that you have enough room to do so. The outtake fan.
VRK is asking, is it going to be a problem if I add a capture card? I mean, there is an available PCIe slot there. It's not much space, and please consider that you see the fans are facing that way. So anything you place above the card can influence the air intake of the graphics card. So I would take that into consideration.
Okay. So
but technically, I guess you could, yeah.
Yeah, you definitely could. You just got to make sure that, you don't have enough problems with cooling afterwards.
You don't even have a PC. All right, well then it's purely hypothetical. Don't worry about it.
Those questions are also important for future research
we don't mind. We don't mind. Absolutely.
Okay, so let me just put this down for a second and then open the other side. Again, I gotta take out 2 screws and then I'll have full access. That's one.
Yes, Rayo, it's DDR5 RAM memory on the motherboard. Of course, the 3090 uses GDDR6X, so that's different. I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Same case when you open this side.
Oh.
Again, try to be careful because there's still a cable attached to it.
Same as on the other side,
So here?
for the RGB. Yep. Yes, Rayo, this PC uses DDR5 RAM memory.
It around.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to get rid of it from this side because I see it got stuck.
It got caught behind the...
Yeah, so
Okay.
I have to reach it from this side. Just a second.
Oh, thank the gods. Sticky UK 69 is here.
Who?
Well, he said, he entered the channel saying, "Have no fear, I is here." All right, well, fair. That's, welcome.
That's actually pretty
Good to
catchy.
have you.
There we go.
Yep.
So,
Rayo, you can see the specs actually on the bottom right rotating. So as you will see there, it's an Intel-based system, 12th gen. In this case, an i9, but also available in other configurations. Yes,
Okay,
we're
there we
back
go.
on the
So
Droid cam.
So now we have the back side of basically the motherboard and the side of your desktop. Let me just address this first. So here we have the protective metal panel, and here we have, of course, the cutout, so you have easy access to the PCIe M.2 slot. So if you prefer to add another one, it's very easy. You just have to, and the screw you can find in the box that we showed you before. So yeah, this part, very easy.
Yep.
And here we have an extra cooling. This one actually also helps to cool the CPU and also the VRM. So the VRMs, they're sitting about here, and the airflow will still push down the air far enough to reach these parts as well. So besides cooling the CPU block right here, from this side too, because this side actually also gets pretty hot, you also have extra cooling for the VRMs sitting right on top and besides the CPU. So even though we didn't have the VRM heatsinks on the other side, first of all, in this case it wasn't needed anyways because the temperatures never got high enough. Of course, this was all being tested intensively. And here we also have a precautious measure in our silent flow cooling setup for the fourth cooling chamber, because the third one is the power supply, which cools the backside of the motherboard and cools the CPU and the VRMs. So, and this, you don't have to worry about this making a lot of noises because it basically can't even hear when it's spinning at the desired speed. So you will really have to place your ear right next to it if you want to able to hear the fan spinning. So you don't have to worry about sound. Now we have extra SATA connectors on the other side of the motherboard, and here, as you can already recognize, we have 2 more brackets for your 2.5-inch SSDs or SATA drives, hard disks, whatever you like to use that's still in your disposal. And let me show you, if you have a even more old school setup, which is right here. So if you have a 3.5-inch still sitting around, because hey, if they're still working and you're just using them for extra storage for pictures, some video materials and stuff, whatever you're using, we're not excluding you. So here we have a SATA that's already connected. So obviously if you want to have a bigger one, you can just simply take those out. It's very simple. We have connectors already sitting around here, ready for you to. I'm using one hand, but it's a little bit difficult. But I think I zoomed in.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
So just push the brackets on both sides, and you can take them out. But of course, you got to push the cable back first. Oh. But yeah, that's how easy it is to exchange the hard drive that's still in here, just in case you still make use of it.
Abdullah is asking only 850 watts for a 12900K and a 3090. Actually, that's enough, and it also depends on the quality of the power supply. Obviously, the numbers otherwise don't say that much if you don't take into account the rating. So in this case, it's 80 plus gold rated, so that means
it's very efficient.
Yes, very efficient, which means you actually get very close to the rated wattage output. That's one thing. And secondly, they were also asking, hey, is the PSU customizable? In other words, can you swap it out? Yes, but Ja will get to that because it's not the standard ATX form factor. It's a bit smaller, but you could.
Okay, yeah, so let me show you then. Anyways, if we're talking about it anyways. Yeah. Here, if you recognize this is the side. This whole compartment is meant for the PSU. Now the PSU is of course a lot smaller than this thing, but it's sitting right in here, and this is an SFX sized power supply.
You can buy separate SFX sized power supplies. They're not as common as the regular ATX sized, the full size that you put into your tower, but that you can buy them separately if you want to.
Yeah.
But trust us, we wouldn't provide you with a PC and put a power supply in that's not powerful enough to run the system that that we put it in. So
absolutely no worries.
Exactly. And the one that's provided with this Ti5 is more than capable of running this configuration.
And I will show you why, because I'm going to close this up now and hope to God it still works. It should work because I didn't break anything. But
we'll find out.
We will then do some live gaming benchmarks for you, and with also the power draw, so you can see what the CPU is drawing, what the GPU is drawing, and then you will be convinced that, oh, so actually 80 or 850 is more than enough.
Yeah.
You'll see in just a second.
I mean, we get some people saying, remarking about the inner workings and that it's not very pretty, like for example the motherboard. Obviously this custom proprietary motherboard inside this case, there's a little bit less attention being paid to how pretty it looks compared to, for example, the separate motherboards you can buy on the market from us, from MSI, which have a lot more emphasis on how they look and how they look in your case. And the same goes pretty much for the aluminium chassis as well. That's unpainted, as you can see, so it's just bare metal basically. The point of this is that if you've got the PC installed and put together like Ja is doing now, when it's up and running, you shouldn't see those parts anyway. So no, it shouldn't matter. You really shouldn't run the PC with the sides off and stuff. It's not really meant like that. So the reasoning there is to put invest the money basically and the cost of this system where we think it matters most, which also means trying to not waste or spend excessive amounts of money where you're not going to see it anyway 99.9% of the time. The only time you should really be seeing this is I've seen some people indeed saying, hey, it's actually easy access to maybe clean the PC if you want to. Yeah, that's great. So then you'll see it, or if you're upgrading some components. So that's not most of your time for most people.
Yeah. And really, for the rest of the parts, for the entire desktop, we definitely make sure to also include like quality materials like here. So the other side, of course, it's hard plastic, but on the inside we have a protective metal layer as well. So, and this is the same case for the other side. Yeah. So a lot of this kind of stuff, also with the handle, like it's a massive metal. Yeah, we definitely try to make sure that to provide you guys with quality materials. We'll just connect the
So I mean, because I can understand it's a bit weird. Like on the outside, this looks like, and especially with the gaming dial and stuff, it really looks like we went all out on the aesthetics, and we did, where we think it matters. Like the gaming dial, that's the thing you're going to see. That's really one of the main features, the eye catchers, right? On the inside, yeah, I mean, would you really pay, I don't know, $100, $200 more if indeed we would have made the motherboard more beautiful or inside, which you're really never going to see, or painted the chassis extra with a nice, coated it with a black color or something so it looks nicer. Yeah, I'm not sure. We think, we made the choice that you probably wouldn't pay more for that, so it's probably not a good investment.
Yeah, especially it's for us. It's the same case. So when we buy some components, it's also they keep getting more expensive. So that also means that it gets translated into the product. So we got to find ways to try to keep the cost down. So it's not just like we're throwing margins on it. No, because hardware for us, it's also getting more expensive. Some parts, some connectors, some conductors, or even SSDs. Or actually actually, there's a lot of shortage with SSDs as well. Yeah. So yeah, we really try to do our best to keep the cost down, and yeah, we can try to beautify it, but it's not going to help you guys.
No, exactly, and that, we always try to keep that into account as well. What do we think? And we have to, because if we make the wrong choices there, the product is probably not going to sell well, right? That's just the base of it. So we have to think about these things. Some models, of course, we go all out. Like, for example, I saw some people saying the Godlike motherboard looks really nice. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the boards where, it has ridiculous aesthetics, but the price matches that. So there's a cost involved if you want that kind of level of aesthetics. So you have to make a balance at some point. Otherwise, you're gonna make a product that, yes, it looks really cool, but it's gonna be so expensive that barely anyone's gonna have the money or want to spend that money to buy it.
Okay, so the PC is starting up.
Anyway, I'm gonna shut up about it now. You people are saying, yeah, okay, we get it. Basically, I was trying to fill the time until Ja was either gonna power the PC on, or it's gonna explode in a fiery ball. But
do you guys get it though? Do you? Do you?
Are you sure you don't? Do you need us to expand on it a bit more?
We got all the time. Okay, so seems like everything is all good. I have contact, visual, no smoke coming out. We good?
Looks like it.
Which means we can finally get into gaming.
Ooh, but before we do that, shall we give away a couple of more codes?
Oh, yes.
What do you think? All right. So if you want to participate, you can still participate. Go to msi.com/2/insider, as you can see over Ja's left shoulder. For you, the right side. Or you can follow the link being spammed in the chat by our bot, at least for YouTube and Twitch. So if you're watching on other platforms and you want to participate, please go to either our official YouTube channel or Twitch. There you will for sure find that link, the Gleam link. And yeah, if you're a regular viewer, don't forget to also throw in your loyalty bonus points. Because you'll be building them up with every stream you watch, and every time you participate in the giveaway, you will, it will register that, and then the more you participate, you will get increasing amount of points. And we're going to draw another 2 winners. So let's see who is lucky today.
Yeah, you really, guys, when you register, try to use a username that's like, not like the hardest part for us to pronounce.
And please put in a username, because right now I also have somebody, and we're not allowed to use people's actual names. I guess in this case we can still use their the nickname that they use on the platform itself. But please enter a username or nickname, because that for us makes it easier. Otherwise, sometimes we even have to kind of revoke the win because we only have your real name to say, and we're obviously for obvious privacy reasons we're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, so you're really clapping yourself if you're not doing that.
All right, so we have our 2 winners. The first winner is Sam GS. Congratulations.
Congrats, man.
We'll get the Steam code out to you ASAP. And the other one is called Magnusio. Magnusio, you also win a Steam wallet code, so congratulations.
All right, guys,
we'll be giving away some more codes later on this stream, so you still have a chance to win if you haven't already. Please participate and make sure you don't miss out.
All right.
Say my name.
Say my name.
Nice. All right.
DJ Khaled. All right, I'm gonna start up Far Cry 6, but if you have paid attention to this live stream, you're gonna know
he's
I'm
not
gonna
do
use
it.
my mouse.
Exactly. All right. Oh, wait. Detailed. Oh, screwing up. All right, here we go.
I can't really see it because I'm looking at the monitor.
This Far Cry.
Okay, yeah, this Far Cry.
Yeah. And let the magic happen. Booyah! Kal-El, especially for you and for everybody else, of course. I'm going to put the specs below. They were asking about which specs this system is running. So here you can see the full specs of this specific model. Obviously, the Ti5 comes in different configurations as well. This is the highest configuration, but there's also, like for example, with an i7 and probably like a paltry 3080, right? Like a peasant 3080.
1700 frames per second.
Yes.
Holy crap!
It's over 9,000.
So yeah, right at the right upper corner, you can see all of the values, so temperature and also the power draw for the GPU and CPU. So you can do the calculation yourself, some quick math in order to see, you know, is the 850
is
enough?
it gonna cut it? I don't know. It's getting close. I'm not good at math. I hope you didn't notice that.
Let's continue. Actually, Peter, I was wondering, like, who was playing with this account, because the progress is actually pretty far. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you. And I definitely didn't cheat. No. But yeah, we actually did coming back to the Ambient link thing, we actually did a live stream a while ago with Far Cry 6, where we actually had somebody from Ubisoft over in the stream to, well, virtually, who worked on this game, who helped develop it, lead the, what was it again? Some part of the development team. Really great that they were able to answer those questions, but we were also able to, this is one of the games that can use that ambient link feature, so we tried to display it as well as it could. At that point it wasn't 100% final yet. The game had just released and the whole ambient link was still kind of in development, but yeah, at least you get the gist of it.
Seems like the game is a little bit stuck.
Oh. What happened?
That's a good question.
Oh, all right. Maybe Alt F4 it?
Okay, let's start again, because I did have to minimize it in order to start up.
You know, the thing is,
Afterburner.
we tested it just before the live stream. Everything was fine. So, I mean, the rules dictate that now it shouldn't work. It's how it works. We don't make the rules, we just work here. But that's just how it goes usually. Once it's live, stuff stops working. Yeah, it wouldn't be a live stream if it didn't happen, right? That's
the best part.
Exactly.
I look forward to every time.
Me too. That's why I love live streams.
Okay, now I don't have to do it anymore, because everything's up and running.
What resolution are you playing in, Ja?
I'm gonna show you guys, but 4K.
Right.
So you guys are gonna notice that once I'm in game, the CPU usage is not that high. But that's because we're playing at 4K, and when you're like playing at 4K, the GPU has like so much render that your CPU basically can slack off, and yeah, pretty much everything is dependent on your GPU. So, like right now, you see I'm at, let me go to settings first, just to make sure the settings are correct. So monitor.
Oh, display resolution.
So set this to your monitor refresh rate. So 1080p, change it back to 4K.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you guys can we can only stream in 1080p. So maybe that's why it defaulted back to that, because it's connected to our capture card. But I think, yeah, this does look like 4K. Yeah.
So quality, let's just first to set everything to ultra to see what happens. Maybe the monitor will, or the desktop will explode, but we'll see. RTX right now is off, but let's get it on for reflections and shadows. Now go back.
Did you, by the way, did you see that VRAM amount in the menu? I love how it didn't round it out to 24 gigs. No, it went the full 23.77999.
No, that's
awesome.
That's specific.
Yes. Yeah. Didn't notice that before, but that's a nice touch.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, guapo.
Guapo, yeah. Oh, that's actually one of our allies.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. No, don't shoot him. That's actually, I don't think it does anything other than waste ammo.
So I'm sitting at 70 FPS with pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is everything maxed out, even ray tracing.
I think the only thing you didn't apply,
4K.
if I saw it correctly, were the high-res textures. But I'm not sure if those were pre-installed already. If they're not,
Yeah,
then
I downloaded the version with
okay.
Where was it? Where was it?
A little bit up.
Yeah.
HD texture. There you go. I mean that increased the VRAM usage from 7.25 to a whopping.
Whoa.
8.
Wait, no, that's the wrong one.
8.28. Woohoo!
So, quick
Yeah.
math. How much
Yeah.
do we still have left?
I think it's almost maxed out. Pretty sure. Do you think 24 gigs of GDDR6X VRAM
we
is
have to
enough?
restart again because the
I doubt it.
HD texture will only take effect when.
Oh, it's one of them things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, then just for the purpose of having everything run smoothly, let me change the scaling back to normal.
DLSS, Cheyenne is yelling at us. I'm not sure. Did you enable DLSS?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. Which did you? I'm not sure. Were there presets in this game, or was it just DLSS yes or no?
It's a yes or no.
Ah,
so
right,
you have
okay.
yes for reflection and
Yeah.
yes for shadow.
Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember if Far Cry 6 actually gave you the choice between quality, performance, or balanced DLSS profiles. It's been a while since I played that game actually. But yeah, I also just noticed that they added the Danny Trejo part or mission, so I guess I got to pick it up again. I mean, you gotta love Danny Trejo. He's a freaking legend, man. There he is. Trejo's Tacos.
Where's Antonio Banderas?
I don't know.
Okay, so now everything is really set to max, and yeah, can't complain. I mean, the visuals are finger-licking good.
Yeah.
I'm sitting around 70 FPS, and that's with 4K, guys, and everything maxed out with ray tracing.
Yeah, and don't forget the GPU is even duplicating the screen right now, right?
Yeah.
Because Jazz monitor is 4K, but it's also at the same time, displaying it or sending it out to the director's PC, which is here, and then it's being transferred over to 1080p, which is the max we can stream right now. So that's what you're seeing.
Okay. And tell me, guys, how much power are we drawing in total right now?
Oh, Gaius Mill, I hope I'm saying that correctly, your name, but he's saying there was a stream where Danny himself watching the Danny Trejo quest. I gotta see that.
Really?
Yeah, the guy's hilarious. He probably laughed his ass off at it. At least I hope, because that means it was good.
Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Oh, I can pet him. Wow.
Yeah. He's like a real buddy. You wouldn't do that in real life. Yeah.
Oh my God, he has a golden tooth.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yep. The only thing he's missing is a friggin' cigar in his mouth. You know.
He even has clothes on. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Let's go, buddy. Let's go on an adventure. So, okay, guys, as you can see, I'm hitting about 400 plus watts.
What?
Power draw.
400 watt?
And yeah, in total we have 850 available in our 80 plus gold certified power supply. Yeah. So of course, you know, there's some peripherals, you know, and so some keyboards, mouse, motherboard drawing some more power and drives, but that's never gonna like exceed about 30, 40 watts. So together with CPU and GPU, right now we're drawing about 450 watts top.
Yeah.
So we have about 400 left.
Yeah, that's not even close. You got a lot of headroom there. Also, I mean, look at the temperatures, right? You can see that they separated the chambers for the CPU and the GPU, and it really shows here as well, because they're not really influencing each other. I mean, the GPU obviously being pushed a lot. It's 4K and every setting at max. So that's nearing 80 degrees, which is still fine. It's well within the thermal limits. And then the CPU, it's 50, what was it? 55, 58 maybe? Yeah. So quite low actually, but not surprisingly, because you can see it's really not really stressing the CPU out at all.
So let's see how much difference this is going to make. So without ray tracing, we are gaining about 20 plus FPS, which is quite massive because that's about 40%.
No, actually, I think you were getting close to 70 FPS before, weren't you?
Yeah, not in this part specifically.
Yeah,
so
okay.
the parts in this part specifically, I was getting about 58 and 60 FPS.
Yeah.
So now with ray tracing off, I'm hitting about 70.
Oh, seems bitrate is low according to... You're right, you might be right. We were messing around with the bitrate earlier this week because we had to record something. So we may have accidentally... somebody might have forgotten to put that back where it belongs. And I'm not sure if I can change that while the stream is running.
That's correct.
Whoa. But you're absolutely right, actually. Oh, yes, yeah, the bitrate is quite low, actually, compared to what we usually do. And it's a locked setting right now, so I'm afraid I can't change that while the stream is live. But thank you for pointing that out, because we will update that for the next stream. Because you're absolutely right.
Let me just try to move slowly, so...
Oh yeah, that's a shame though.
It's gonna be softer on the eyes for you guys.
Yeah, but that's a shame because then you can't really show the full detail. Play on 4040p if possible. Yeah, he can switch. I mean, he's on 4K right now, so obviously changing to a lower resolution is possible. But
sure.
That's not really gonna test the system, is it? Yeah, there you go. Hope you don't have to restart the game. Oh, no, wait.
He went back to 4K.
Yeah, it's like, nope. Not doing Quad HD, it's too easy.
But something did change.
Yeah, I'm also looking at the top, the refresh rate for some reason.
Yeah.
Seems to...
Oh, you went back to 60.
Yeah, and it was at 30 before, so that's not really what you want. Yes. Okay. But I mean, notice that if the image comes back, the VRAM usage, because you're at a lower resolution, it's gone down quite a bit already. Even though you changed nothing in the settings, so you still got the HD textures and everything enabled, but it went from there you go. But it went from 28 to high in the 6.
Yeah, something like that.
And that's just from switching resolutions, right? So higher resolution also always means higher VRAM usage, by definition.
But basically the difference here is between 4K, everything maxed out, and 1440p, everything maxed out, which is right now.
Yeah.
The difference is about 30 FPS. So if you compare that with a 4K, it's about 50% gain, 40 to 50% FPS difference. And I must say that Especially when you look at stuff that's quite detailed, like grass or the edges, or generally the textures. 4K is it really stands out compared to 1440p, I must say. Because I also have a 4K monitor, so really when you use 4K, it's just so much more
better looking,
detailed.
Yeah. What Gia is asking, I think you can answer this question as well. Is there a Trident 12th, as in a 12th gen? I'm not sure if it's there yet, but if it isn't, then okay, but it already is. There you go. Because usually, in our fixed series, whether it be Trident or Infinite or Aegis Ti or Ti5 like this, you just know sooner or later it's going to get updated. So if it isn't already, it should be coming up at some point.
So let's see what happens with 1440p and ray tracing turn off.
Ah, right. Are you sure, by the way, that DLSS was on? Because
No. DLSS is not an option here.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere else, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's really weird.
Advanced settings, maybe.
Is it? Adaptive resolution?
Not here.
Can you try? What does adaptive resolution do? If you. Oh no. Okay, fair enough. That's okay. Where was it again?
So we have monitor.
But you already saw FSR there, so you would expect, because FSR, Fidelity FX Super Resolution and DLSS are kind of. I mean, they work differently, but they work towards the same goal. It's weird. Yeah, where was that thing again? Crap.
Yeah, but I think
anyway.
it's not here because this is an AMD title.
Yeah, it is. Who chose this game for an NVIDIA GPU? Okay. Well.
So with ray tracing off, we have at 1440p, 40p, about 10-15 FPS gain.
The fuck was that?
Yeah, which is about 10 to 50. No, about 20% increase, maybe.
14%.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Overall, right now I'm playing on Quad HD and everything at Ultra, but then without ray tracing, so around 100 FPS. For a AAA title game like this, which is really heavy to render, I'm having an excellent time with the smoothness of the screen because of the high FPS, of course. And then just for the last time, if I go back to 4K, what happens then? I'll probably be sitting at 60 or 70 FPS then again. Yeah, there we go.
Pretty much.
Between 60 and 70.
Yeah.
But the immediate difference in the sharpness, especially in your weapon because it's so close by, it's insane. But you guys have to see this for yourselves, especially on a bigger screen. But yeah, that's pretty much the experience for Far Cry 6 and the performance between 60, 70 and 100, depending on what resolution you're playing at, even with ray tracing both set to on.
Yeah. And I mean, still, again, look at the top right. The GPU, 75 degrees. I mean, the fans probably just started kicking in a bit. I don't hear them from here. Ja's sitting next to it, so you might hear a little bit.
No, I actually don't think anybody hears the fan. But
yeah, it's 100% utilized, so that means it literally cannot get higher than that. Of course, if you're gaming for a bit longer, the temperature might rise a little bit, but usually the fans will react to that in an appropriate way. Meaning, if it gets like to 80 degrees, the fans will speed up a little bit, but this is pretty good temperatures, and the CPU as well. I mean, obviously it's not being stressed fully. Only about 20%, up to about 20% is what I saw. But temperature also reflects that. It barely goes up above 60, which is I'm not even sure if obviously the water cooling is working there, but it's probably not having to do a lot quite yet.
Oi!
The game doesn't support DLSS. Thanks, Robhan Amici. Yeah, I forgot. I knew it had fidelity effects, but I also thought it would have some DLSS. But you're right, it doesn't. It's only the fidelity effects option, which you can, to be fair, you can also use with an NVIDIA GPU.
Oh, who's a good boy? Okay, let's move on to Battlefield.
Somebody, Fake Rambo, was just asking about that. Is BF 2042 better than BF5 or BF1? I don't want to waste money. Oh, it depends on what you mean with better. It's a personal thing.
Yeah.
I especially enjoyed. I know also Michiel. We did a live stream about it a couple of weeks back with Battlefield. Both Michiel and myself really enjoyed the fact that you can. They've like revamped the actual 1942 game mode. That was really enjoyable because you don't have all those, I don't know, futuristic high-tech skills like, oh, I'm gonna hack a plane or something, and that's something that both of us weren't really into, or probably weren't used to. But Eric, he's the diehard Battlefield, player, fan, whatever, and he really loves. Also, just generally the new Battlefield 2042. But it really depends on if that's something you would like or not. But it does give you a lot of choice with the different game modes, so yeah, that's pretty cool. We had a lot of fun in it, that's for sure.
Let's go for some breakthrough. So once the game started, I will show you guys the settings.
Yeah, I mean, visually the game looks really freaking good.
So have you guys already tried Battlefield 2042?
Ian 9K is saying that game is dead already. It doesn't matter if you like it or not because soon servers will be empty. I haven't really kept up with the news, so unless there's a major issue, I highly doubt that. I mean, there's always people that like it and some people that don't like it. So it's inevitable that at some point you're going to see a drop with initial players who just wanted to try it and then in the end decided, nope, actually, I don't like it, and then they drop the game again. But there's also always a hardcore group, like Eric, for example, that will, they'll just keep playing it.
And of course, 2042 has had its starting, let's say, issues.
Yeah.
Because the game wasn't optimized well enough, but the developers, they keep working on it, and
yes.
I think last time I also read that they were going to add a campaign anyways, because they obviously didn't include that once they deployed the project. But so it's definitely still being worked on. I already noticed that compared to like a few weeks ago, this game feels a lot better already. When you talk about like optimization and how smooth and the gameplay feels like, and less bugs.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that when they release it, it still has a lot of those bugs, and that seems to be a theme with a lot of big games. Cyberpunk was a good example of that as well, or actually a bad example, I guess, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, it's a shame that it just seems like these developers are pushing more for a deadline. For it has to be released, ready or not, it's going out, and that kind of they're shooting themselves in the foot with that kind of attitude. Then again, if you keep having to say to people when they're asking when will the game release, and you basically only can answer when it's ready, yeah, people don't tend to like that either. So they have to, find a middle ground there. But I agree, it's really frustrating when you have a game like that, which obviously is huge budget and has big expectations, and then they release it in a buggy state. It's just a shame. But there is the promise that with games like this, usually they will keep developing them, and so that means that after a couple of weeks, months, depending on how you look at it and the developer, the game will be better, and a lot of those bugs will be worked out. So.
Okay. So I'm playing at 4K, everything maxed out. On average, I'm running about 80 FPS.
Public nuisance, but this is the thing about games these days. Like a lot of these games, like I don't know how old you are, but when I was young, indeed, you know, when a developer released a game, that was it. I mean, there were no patches. It was just that they put it on a CD or even discs if you were older than that, and that was it. You know, ready to go, no updates, no content patches, nothing. And these days, it's more like, you know, they keep updating the game, they keep adding more content, more features, in the hopes of keeping it alive, obviously so that they can, you know, make more money off of it and extend its lifetime. But that also means that in you know, when it comes to things like bugs and stuff, that there is enough time and resources available to work those out. You're 40, so okay, yeah. Well, then you're old enough to know, right? I mean, when you were young and you had those games, I mean, those were, you know, what you got was what you know, that was it. And if there were bugs in it, they were never going to get fixed. It was just, that was it. So on the one hand, it's a good thing that that's no longer the case, that they still update these games and try to work out those bugs. On the other hand, it is a shame that they choose to release them in a buggy state in the first place.
Really love the details here of the bullet impact. Look at the details of the impact on a random surface.
Yeah, and it differs per surface as well, obviously.
Yeah. So with ray tracing on, we're talking about a different scenario. It's a cutback from a 80 FPS average to a 60 FPS average. But the game does look banging.
Yeah.
And
I know
we can still turn on the
love it or
LSS.
hate it. I mean, for me, like there's this thing in one of the maps, the tornado, right? That's one of the big things in Battlefield 2042 as well, where the tornado sweeps through and just, you know, destroys half of the map or whatever, and you can get sucked in by it. As a gameplay mechanic, I'm not so sure about it, but visually, damn, when you get into that, it's like, you know, it's just like you're watching a movie, like, what the hell is going on?
Look at this, look at the reflections.
Yeah.
Leave me alone, man, come on, don't be rude.
Trying to run a stream here.
So with ray tracing now on, 4K, settings to the max, the only difference is that I have now turned on the LSS to balanced, not even performance, right? So balanced, and I've gained about 20 FPS back from 60 to 80. So actually quality-wise, I didn't notice any difference. So I probably have to compare them side by side in order to see the difference. But yeah, otherwise we're running this at 80 FPS with DLSS to balanced and everything max, ray tracing too, which is excellent actually. Looking at, and I'm sure that, you know, Battlefield 2042 will keep getting optimized throughout the time.
Yeah.
And if I
mean, it's already just looking at it, because we played it. That was just after release. No, actually, it was the beta, wasn't it? It was prior to release.
Yeah, it was the beta version. Yeah.
And just looking at it already and the performance, I'm pretty sure. Again, I didn't keep up with everything, so if you guys are hardcore players, you probably know exactly what they changed. But it does look like they already, you know, optimized and changed a couple of things. It does seem already to run a bit better, because it did have some hiccups at some point when we tried it in the early beta. It seems way more consistent already. And who knows? I mean, you know, they're constantly looking at it, and it will probably still improve. Yeah.
Actually, in this game, it's very, very forgiving when it comes to settings, because I turned from ultra to high and I didn't get any FPS gains.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what it changed exactly, but yeah. I guess it depends. Sometimes it's like shadow, volumetric, clouds, depth of field effects, anti-aliasing details. So it really depends on what you have on the screen, I guess, if it gets affected or not in terms of FPS.
Okay, so Let me
Come on, Ja.
turn.
Hard carry. Go for it.
Not at this stage. it's already lost.
Oh.
So let me turn off ray tracing and see what we're working with. 100 FPS. Look at that.
Yep.
So guys, how much do you like realism and
And what's the resolution? This is 4K?
4K? Yep.
Running at 4K at 100 FPS in pretty much on average. Well, okay, 90 something, in the 90s. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, and you really have to take into account that 2042 is a massive,
Yeah.
massive map to render.
And notice that because it's a multiplayer game, the CPU has a bit more work to do as well. So it's now, at like roughly 25 to 30% usage. Still nothing big, but an increase compared to single-player games like Far Cry 6. So you do see the temperature is going up just a bit. It's now reaching maybe 70 degrees, but that's still nothing special. And the total power consumption of the system, it will be just around the 500 watt mark, because simply, again, the GPU is just being completely stressed to the max, so that means, around 350 watts. And as you can see, the CPU is now being stressed a bit more, so it comes in at around about 100 watts. I'll add in the other things in the system, I don't know, give it about a 50 watts extra, and you're almost at a, what is it? Yeah, at 500 watts in total, which is still nothing even close to the 850 watts that the power supply can provide. And indeed, the temps, that's nothing yet. Indeed, if you know hardware, if you're into the hardware, this is just, this is good actually. This looks good. These are good temperatures. Means your cooling is working well in a game like this, in a setting like this.
So guys, pretty much that is the experience of playing at 4K. So really, you gotta remember that 4K is really not something easy for your hardware to handle. And when you can handle it, you do get a lot in return. But you gotta consider for yourself, do you prefer high FPS or do you prefer the best details?
Yep.
So that's really where it comes down to. If you don't want, the best details, just go back to Quad HD. It's more than enough. I think for majority of you guys, for those of you guys who love 4K, this is more or less the performance you can get like with nowadays with the Aegis Ti5. So if you have any questions regarding that, let us know.
And what entry level is this? Well, that's a nice way of putting it, because entry level is usually considered like low end or kind of, price friendly. But yes, this is enthusiast level, I would say. Yeah, I mean, this is like pretty much the highest level.
Actually, that correlates with our segment name, because this is the MEG.
There you go.
Aegis Ti5.
Stands for?
E stands for enthusiast, which is our highest segment.
Yeah. MSI Enthusiast Gaming, that's what MEG stands for.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
There you go. And then we have, let's do a little round, the MPG. Stands for?
The MSI Performance Gaming.
There you go.
And
Just we gotta ram it home, guys, so you guys you understand what it stands for. And then there's the MAG, which
the last one.
Somebody got the Optics MAG 27.4 QRF-QD, which is it's a pretty damn nice thing. I hope you enjoy it, but I'm pretty sure you do.
We'll wait for 4K.
And the MAG is of course for
Arsenal.
MSI Arsenal Gaming.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, guys. I think we are going to conclude today's live stream.
Wait. Let's give away some more codes before we do.
We're not finished yet. I'm just saying, we're nearing the end. So
Yes.
if you still have any feedback for us, you want to talk to us. You still have some time left. Otherwise, we have new winners coming up.
Yes. Drum roll. There you go. You're feeling me. All right. We have 2 new winners, and their names are Shitai.
Congrats.
Congratulations. And you. There's a lot of U's in there. But it starts with a Y. Yai. What the hell? With a Y.
Shitai.
Y and a lot of U's. So you. congratulations, you. You also win a game code, a Steam wallet code. So we'll email those out to you as soon as possible.
Yeah. Congratulations to all of you. Okay, then let's talk about next week, huh?
Let's because we'll be totally live, even though we've got a Christmas holiday lined up. But we're sacrificing one of our
days. Next week?
Sorry?
Are we off next week?
No, we're not. Well, not during that live stream.
Exactly. Okay, next week, guys, we're gonna have a lot of fun because that's what our live stream is all about: coziness, fun, and just have a good laugh
Exactly.
while we are getting ass whooped in.
Exactly. Yeah. Fall Guys.
I think because we're all very inexperienced, so we're probably getting ass whooped.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe, and I already said, we should rebrand this. It's Fail Guys because that's really what we are in that game.
But yeah, if you want to see some fun, you want to see how Eric is still doing, at
have a few laughs at our expense.
Yeah,
which is fine. That's totally intended.
Yeah. So next week we definitely are all about Fall Guys, and also, actually,
we were literally whooping each other's ass in another game, right?
Yeah. Stick Fight the game.
Oh yeah.
So
and that game was freaking hilarious. If you haven't played it, I had seen it, I guess, but this was the first time I was playing it, and I was literally friggin' falling off my chair laughing at some point because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's so much shit happening all the time. It
is hilarious. It is.
Yeah.
Anyway, great way to end the year. We hope to see you guys next week.
Exactly.
Thank you for joining today.
And have a good time, guys. Stay safe, and already have a good Christmas.
Yes. Enjoy the holidays.
Enjoy the time.
All right.
Thank you for watching.
See you next week.